Welcome to the virtual lunch. Today is Friday, March 18th, and this is virtual lunch number 522. Our guest today is Jim Bocchino, the Vice President of Corporate Sales for North America for Nuix. And this is part of our continuing series on the changing legal landscape with Nuix. Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great, Ari. Thanks for featuring me and inviting me to your virtual lunch. So I got into the legal services business back in '92, worked for a company called Copy America. It was a little legal photocopy company based in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, servicing basically the tri-state area, Philadelphia, Wilmington, Delaware, and southern New Jersey. And the hot tech at the time was a big, ginormous dinosaur of a copy machine, the Xerox 1090. And the services were photocopying and Bates stamping or Bates labeling. That was the hot tech back then. We were targeting corporate in-house attorneys, paralegals, and law firm attorneys and paralegals, and they managed their review with paper. We copied paper 3-4 times, watching attorneys in big war rooms review paper, tagging relevant hot documents, all kinds of codes with Post-it notes, and hoping that when they put the lids on the boxes that the Post-it notes would stay on there. And that was our business. And fast forward through the years, I had stayed in the industry, stepped out for a little stint with a .com that was at the .bomb stage of the whole .coms out there, but had essentially been in the legal services e-discovery industry for most of my professional career. And I was fortunate to watch the industry go from paper to where it is today. And the next technology was scanning. And then obviously e-discovery became prominent, and then cell phones and collecting from all kinds of remote devices. And now we have, sophisticated reviews with Cal and all kinds of AI. So it was for people that get into e-discovery later in the industry and haven't had the fortunate experience that I have, it's quite a treat to see where we've come. Today, I am a vice president of corporate sales for Nuix for North America, and I lead a team coast to coast, basically focused on Fortune 1000 corporations. Not to say that our products and our solutions don't cover companies outside of that area, but drilling down specifically to industries that are highly litigious, highly regulated. And the commonality between those organizations are that they have lots of employees, lots of data flowing in and out of the organization, and lots of new data being created every day. And so in terms of responding to some of those specific needs and requests, they need a powerful solution that Nuix can provide. So that's our sweet spot on the corporate space. We're segmented from a sales leadership perspective and sales team perspective for just that reason. The corporation is at the center of the ecosystem, and the law firms and the service providers use our technology to complement what their core competency is in serving the needs of the corporation. The government domain, they buy our software to investigate the corporations that we are supporting as well. And so if not for the corporation, all of these other entities really would not exist in the space that, the use cases for Nuix. So there's definitely a different use case for corporations, and it spans from, as I said before, litigation requests where they have to respond to a litigation request or a regulatory inquiry, or they're conducting an internal investigation, or they're conducting anything around internal compliance and GDPR and data privacy. These are things that organizations have to get a handle on with their data, have the need to find where it is. And these organizations as I said, they're creating new data every day. It's all over the place. There's all kinds of medium in terms of where this data is stored, and being able to help them navigate through the chaos that exists and respond to these transactional, reactive types of requests are very important for them. So the technology is the same, solutions a little bit different, and the use cases are very specific to what they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish. That's the key here, is our service provider customers and our advisory customers, we complement one another. In terms of, we don't do doc review, we don't do the professional services that the service providers are doing. We provide the software to enable the organizations to get to the most relevant documents that they need to before they send it out. And an organization wants to minimize the amount of data that they send out for a number of reasons. Cost is the high priority, but you don't want data that is not relevant to the request going out. That just poses additional risks. So we help our organizations try to minimize what they have to send out to create efficiencies and reduce costs and reduce risk. I was fortunate to come from an environment that used Nuix. So I knew the value of the platform and the power of the processing engine, and always knew and believed that that was the gold standard. I worked at Epic, DTI and Epic for 15 years. And we eventually, settled on, after going through various different processing engines across that my career span. Nuix was the gold standard from a processing engine, and I knew our competitors were using it as well. And the one thing a service provider wants to do is process as much data as they can, as fast as they can, and as thoroughly as they can, so that they can be the leader in their field, in their practice. So going into and exploring the whole technology space, I had that background, and I wanted to work for a company that was leading in that technology. But looking at the different, the sales cycles back in the day when we were selling photocopies, the level of, it was very easy to do business with even the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world. I remember pulling up into the parking lot of a not to be named pharma company and meeting the paralegal at the side door who had a magliner with 9 boxes that helped me load it into my car to take back to the production facility. Today, you have, and especially in the software and enterprise software, you're putting enterprise software behind the firewall of some of these organizations with all of the technology and security protocols that need to take place. There's a whole process to get that done. And so it is a bit easier because of the nature of the business and the transactional nature of the services side to do business with the same corporations that you're providing enterprise software to. It's just a more complex sales process and involving a lot more stakeholders that are not only looking at what does the product do, but how is this product going to operate within our entire enterprise and our operation, and are there a lot of security, legals involved, security is involved, which typically doesn't take place on the services side. And it does run the gamut, Ari. I think we are surprised to see how educated some of our customers are. Not surprised that they're educated on the general tech in the industry, but how they're educated on what they already know about Nuix or what they know about our competitors. And so it's important for us to make sure we understand their business. And I think it's we're coming in there, we need to be familiar with what in their role, what are their biggest challenges and what are they typically, because every organization's different, but understanding what the common problems are that we've seen when we've talked to other companies and bringing that to the discussion. I think that's extremely important for us to be successful in listening to our customers. And I think one of the key areas is being able to conduct a very thorough discovery call at the early stages of the sales cycle, being able to dig into understanding their workflow, understanding what tech they're using today, understanding what's keeping them up at night, what are the problems they're trying to solve. And if they have already spent enough time in there, they know what their current state is and what the desired future state. And the gap between those two is the opportunity for us to come up with a solution that's going to make their experience and fill some of the gaps that they've already identified. But, it's key for us to come in there and have these types of discussions, establish credibility early on. And, it's what the platform is. It's not like we're selling a CRM tool and you're focused on features and benefits. We have to understand what it is they're trying to accomplish. And maybe it's only a piece of our platform that they need to accomplish what they want to fill or whatever gaps that exist. So it's real important for us to learn how they're doing business today and really determine as a trusted advisor how we can help them based on what we've heard and what we've done with others.
Jim Bocchino, everybody. What a great conversation in our masterclass series.
Jim is one of the best in the business and just a really good guy. So I want to thank you, and it's good to see you again.